Hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the audio edition. This is the tarot reading for people who want to improve their manifesting abilities. We all have them. We use them quite often, but they're usually in small, little dribs and drabs. Like, for example, you run into somebody or you get a text or something like that, somebody you've been thinking about. You know, I've been thinking about you for the last month or two, and then boom, you meet. And a favorite pair of shoes that you want that you can't afford, you go, doggone it. And maybe a month or two goes down the road, they're on sale, half price. Little things like that are happening all the time. Our gut is talking to us all the time. And we just don't pay attention to it because that's how we're trained. We're trained like chimpanzees at a circus. To want what they want us to want, to think what they want us to think, to feel what they want us to feel. And then we're unhappy with the results. That's where this begins to change here in the Tao Manifesting Tarot. My job is to inspire you. Okay, let's fire up that imagination. Let's help the manifestation. So with that in mind, all you're going to be looking at is this one picture of the 5 cards. Over the past week, I've cut down the number of cards. More cards does not give a better reading. I want a clear, concise, inspiring reading. I want you to know what the energy is when we're done. I don't want you to have to guess. And I want you to choose to see where it fits in your life. You are the focus. That's what manifesting is all about. So let's begin. Start the card in the middle. It is the Oracle card, Come to the Edge. The number in the upper right-hand corner is 36. 3 and 6 are 9. 9 is the ending of a cycle. And it makes sense. If you're going to be coming to the edge of something, that means you are beginning something else, right? And you can see it looks like she's standing on something that kind of resembles a tornado. A lot of hearts around her. So maybe emotionally, she's coming to the edge. She's pushing, clarifying her emotions, her values. What's really important? Not what they tell me is important, but what I feel is important. What are my core values? What do I stand for? What do I want other people to see me as in terms of a human being? Because that's how I see myself. Come to the edge. Means take it to the limit. All right? So, left-hand side. 10 of Cups. Speaking of seeing something clearly, that's what the 10 of Cups is all about. Happiness, blessings, contentment, love all around. And that's, I believe, what we're talking about when we say come to the edge. Give your emotions the respect and the power they deserve. Your emotions count. Your emotions are guiding you. They're not necessarily the final destination, but they are a tool, a vehicle. It's like climbing in a car to go to the grocery store, right? The car gets you there. Your emotions kind of get you there. To this happy place, this 10 of Cups. Now, we're talking about getting in the car, going to the store, the car being your emotions. Okay. You got to know how you're going to get to the store. So you're in the car. That's the tool, your emotions. But how are you going to get there? Where do you go? Where do you begin? That's where the King of Swords is all about. Swords are thoughts, ideas, beliefs. The King, number 1 on his list, he's analytical. Number 2 on his list, he is ethical. Can you imagine that? A leader being ethical. I'll bet you, without making a joke, without being silly or funny, I'll bet you I couldn't count on both fingers ethical leaders in the world today. Ethics is thrown out the door because the people in power have turned human beings into human doings. You are there to serve them. In fact, John D. Rockefeller, a guy who was extremely important. If you don't know John David Rockefeller, he was one of the most vile human beings on the planet. And as a small proof in that direction, he said, "I want a nation of workers, not thinkers." Well, King of Swords says, no. I'm in the car. Those are my emotions. I want to go to the grocery store. I got to get there because I'm going to take my life to the edge. I'm going to give the best in everything. And I'm going to be ethical, and I'm going to be analytical. I'm not just going to accept things at face value. Let's move over then to the next card, which is the strength card. Fortitude, patience, compassion. For yourself first, because if you can't give it to yourself, you can't give it to anybody else. And I'm not talking about narcissism kind of twisted. I'm not talking about that. It basically boils down to treating people the way you want to be treated. But when you don't have an ethical society, when the only thing that matters is money, things, that's how it was planned. Because if people are more important, it makes the game a whole lot tougher. You can't control them. But if you turn people into widgets, into pieces of data, ooh, you got them. Well, to break that in your life, to take it to the limit, to come to the edge, you need strength. You need to have ethics. You need to have clear thought. And that powers your emotions, gives you strong emotions. And again, part of the strength card, often forgotten, is the patience. This is not going to be an overnight sensation. This is going to be a project. We are heading into a time right now that will determine whether or not humanity survives. You may go, well, it's conspiracy thinking. Well, so far, people like me who have been conspiracy people have been right 100% of the time. We haven't missed on anything. And you follow that same logic, and you can see, if you're paying attention, and you can't pay attention to mass media, you got to dig deeper. There are some great shows that you can access. Russell Brand is one, Joe Rogan is another, Jimmy Dore is another, Redacted is another. There are tons of them out there. Dig beneath the surface, and you see that we are really close. I mean, within a year or two of having this thing turn so dystopian that there may not be any coming back. You can begin to change it with you. You take it to the limit. You feel your emotions. Think them through. Be analytical. Be ethical. Keep the strength, because it's going to take every ounce of strength you have. But there's a bright spot, the Eight of Wands. Wands are positivity, hope, joy, happiness. And the Eight of Wands is an acceleration. This is going to be a time when there are going to potentially be big gains and big losses. And it's how that combination all shakes out as to what kind of world we're going to have. You can begin now. Take it to the limit. Come to the edge of the best that you can be. That's the reading for today. More tomorrow, because I do a brand new read every day, 365. I hope you're here. If not, between now and the next time we get together and do tarot, peace and blessings.